Hi there, KOIN 6 meteorologist Josh Cozart live in this KOIN Now update. Want to really kind of dive into what we expect to see as we work our way closer to the holiday season, celebrating Christmas and the first night of Hanukkah on the same night. So a lot to unpack. Always something that people kind of think in the back of their mind is, will we have a white Christmas? Well, it all depends on where you are living here across the Pacific Northwest. If you're along the valley locations, if you're along the coast, unfortunately not likely to see a white Christmas this year. But we're going to dive into exactly what is in store for much of our area, because if you plan it right and you time out your travels accordingly, you might be able to pick up on those white Christmas-like vibes as we work our way through the next several days, because now we are less than a week away from celebrating Christmas and the first night of Hanukkah. So let's just start off of the beautiful views that we saw earlier today, really picking up on some great sights out towards the Mount Hood area. This capture from our Vancouver waterfront camera, El Gacho, really showing off the lenticular cloud formation and all indication of those strong gusty winds that started to push their way on shore, eventually made their way through the valley, and then finding their way up and over the high terrain of the Cascades. So if you want to have a white Christmas this year, heading up in elevation above about 4,000 feet, that will be your best spot to be able to pick up on some of those snowy wintry views. We have seen a plethora of winter weather here across the Pacific Northwest. Something to look forward to for the skiers and snowboarders. Hey, maybe if a new pair of skis or maybe a new snowboard is in your wish list to Santa, this would be the year to head up and enjoy, because we have seen some nice fresh powder as of late. But really picking up on those beautiful views up in elevation as we continue to work our way closer to Christmas. Now, talking about the ski season, really picking up on no snow accumulation, at least over the past 24 to 48 hours. But just look at those base numbers sitting well into the 75-inch range for Timberline Lodge. Mount Hood Meadows at 81 inches and Ski Bowl at 34, as Mount Bachelor sits just an inch shy of 7 inches. So a really happy start to the ski season. We really kind of kicked things off real nicely in the month of November. That took us into December as well, and that trend is just likely going to continue on. However, over the past several days, including today, including tomorrow, and even into the start of the day, Saturday, likely going to be picking up on just a bit of that snow melt. That's as our snow elevation levels retreat back up to about 7,000 feet. We've kind of had this burst of moisture move its way back into our area, so that has definitely helped to melt a lot of the freshly flocked trees. So that picture-perfect view of those white-covered evergreen trees, yeah, probably not the case any longer, because temperatures have been sitting so warm, and government camp climbing back up into the 40s. So we are definitely keeping things well above average. Our daytime high yesterday here in the Portland proper area was 60 degrees for December, well above the average of 46. So it comes as no surprise that we're really kind of seeing these snow elevation levels sitting so much higher. But you'll notice once we get to Saturday, that's when they start to move their way closer to about the 4,000 foot level, which is where we like to see it. That means places like government camp will likely pick up on a light dusting of snow, because moisture, it is available Saturday, and it will take us into Sunday as well. Something for us all to really kind of look forward to here in the coming days. Let's go ahead and kind of dissect what we've seen for the skiers and snowboarders. And I'm really kind of honing in on the mountain locations, because this is going to be the best spot to be able to pick up on actually having a white Christmas this year. So as far as the month of November, December goes, right now, sitting above average for Timberline snowpack, the base layer, by 13 inches. Historically, we should be sitting at about 58 inches. Right now, we're at 71. So a very good sight to see, and hopefully we can kind of continue this trend as we work our way closer to the peak snow depth time, which is right around March, April, the very beginning of May. That's where we would really like to see the heaviest of the snow. And we're also live here on TikTok, Facebook, and all over the internet. So if you happen to have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't hesitate to go ahead and comment in the section below, and I'll try to get those questions answered for you, as so many of us are dreaming of a white Christmas this year. Beautiful live look, though, out over downtown Portland. The holiday lights shining brightly. That's the image you see right below me. But we've got about a 1% chance of seeing snow every single Christmas. That dates back from 1940 to 2023, so just last year. Unfortunately, after crunching the numbers, I really think that our chance of seeing a white Christmas this year is closer to about that 0%, just because everything's kind of coming together that we're just going to be too warm and we are going to be just too rainy to see any of that snow make its way below 4,000 feet. So that excludes the Portland area for sure, Vancouver, the Willamette Valley, the coast. The coast range, maybe a snowflake or two, but melting on contact. And then you got to be above 4,000 feet over the Cascades to actually pick up on that significant snowfall. But you may remember a trace falling on Christmas Day back in 2021, so just a few years ago. It happened again in 2017. And we can't soon forget that nearly inch snowfall, a very welcome sight for our Christmas Day in 2008. So likely going to go by once again without any accumulative snowfall, at least for us here in the Rose City. But we will be picking up on those rain showers. So this is my forecast for Christmas in Portland. 50 degrees. It's going to be rainy, but you got to wait until the afternoon hours to pick up on that wet weather trend. That's where we expect to see yet again another system roll its way on shore, kicking up the wet weather. So it will be green and wet for us in Christmas 2024 here in the Portland-Vancouver metro area. Hate to burst anyone's bubble, but that's just how it shakes out this year. It's just going to make it feel a lot more like the Pacific Northwest here across our area. So that is something we can look forward to. And hey, if you're a warm weather lover, you can't find any complaints with the mid-50s up and down the I-5 corridor earlier today. Again, 46 degrees is our average daytime high temperature for this time of year. So definitely sitting on the warmer end of things. And many of us very happy to see that. I'm just going to kind of check around here on any of our Facebook comments. Be sure to share this video as well. That way we can spread the word that, unfortunately, a white Christmas is not in the cards for us this year, unfortunately. Along with those warmer temperatures, I think many folks kind of emerging from their hibernation that they may have spent as of late to go ahead and enjoy these more comfortable conditions. Again, just a beautiful live look out over downtown Portland. I love the holiday lights, the Fox Tower shining brightly. You've got the weather barometer that's currently flashing green. So that means we're picking up on just some residual moisture, but green means that temperatures have stabilized. So one of the only locations in the country that still has a barometer atop one of the buildings to give you live weather updates. Of course, you can poke around on KOIN.com and find more information about that from our very own Kim Body on where we live. Just kind of a fun factoid. And, of course, they always turn it into a holiday tree for us as well. 52 degrees. That's where we're currently sitting right now out at PDX. Expecting maybe just a rain shower here and there to push its way through the region. That's going to be kind of the rinse and repeat scenario that we see over the next several days. But for tonight, falling back into the mid to upper 40s as we approach sunrise. But we will slowly start to dry things back out once again as we return those temperatures back into the mid-50s for tomorrow. A closer look at our satellite and radar, still again picking up on maybe a stray raindrop or two across the Portland-Vancouver metro area, but for the most part, we're really going to start to dry things out until tomorrow morning, where maybe a light drizzle is a possibility as the widespread cloud coverage does persist. You can see over the past several hours, we really kind of were just clipped with this front. The Cascades tore that up. Just left some residual moisture just on the east side of the Cascades. Nothing real measurable, nothing of significance. But nonetheless, just a little bit of that wet weather to take us into now the 19th day of December. We'll go ahead, zoom in, show you on what's going on along the coast. Seeing a lot of those rain showers really kind of coming to an end out towards the seaside area. That is a live look right now as the water droplets still remain on our camera lens out that direction. No measurable rainfall yet. I do anticipate maybe the National Weather Service will throw us a bone and give us 1/100th of an inch of the wet weather right here in the city. That does go for the case of the McMinnville area out towards Aurora, picking up on some measurable rainfall. So good to see at least a few raindrops and a little more than 1/10 of an inch found right now out along the coastline. Now we have had beneficial rain for the month of December, just over 3 inches or so. Just to put it all into perspective, we should, by the end of the month, see about 5 3/4 of an inch. So for the 19th day, that still puts us slightly behind by about a 1/2 inch. Yeah, there's a lot of water that comes our way in the Pacific Northwest in the month of December. Our rainiest month, as a matter of fact, of the entire year. You'll notice that January isn't too far behind it, just a little over 5 inches, but nonetheless, we should be seeing about 5 3/4 of an inch. So we need to keep these rain potentials going, which will be the case, especially as we move our way into Friday. Maybe just a raindrop or two, but Saturday, Sunday, some good soaking rains. And then by the time we approach Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, also expecting to see that wet weather trend really start to pick up. So let's time everything out. Maybe you're planning on traveling somewhere over the next several days, and you want to plan out, okay, when are going to be the best dry moments? Well, Friday's next system is going to be very similar to what we experienced today, just clipped by this latest cold front that's going to be sweeping through our area. Really not bringing us anything more than cloudy skies, mild temperatures, and maybe a light morning drizzle, and then maybe an isolated rain shower or two. Not everybody will get wet tomorrow, but everyone will enjoy the cloudy skies. I say enjoy because we're just kind of in that pattern of winter where we just got to suck it up and enjoy the cloud coverage and try to make the best of it. So that's on tap for Friday. Saturday, though, the cold front that we're looking at here, that one's going to pack just a little bit more of a punch. Swinging its way through the Pacific Northwest, the rain will be much more widespread, heavy at times, really kicking off before sunrise, taking us well into the afternoon hours before the evening starts to dry out. So your window of opportunity on Saturday is going to be Saturday evening to maybe get over the Cascades. Keep in mind, we will have just had a little bit of that snowfall over some slick spots are a possibility, but at least there will be no active snow falling or accumulation. So Saturday night, that's going to be a go at things for you. Then Sunday, we prepare for another cold front. We're in that season where the pattern just keeps them rolling in from the Pacific Ocean, and that will bring back the chance of rain for much of the day on Sunday. So again, Saturday is going to be that window of opportunity. Or maybe later tonight, where we expect to hold on to those mostly cloudy skies, expecting to still hold on to a bit of those east-southeasterly winds, but we do start to dry things out for the rest of this evening. Tomorrow morning, you notice a little bit more of that green on our map here. I think, if anything, maybe just a light drizzle for us. I don't think it's going to be very impactful. Maybe the windshield wipers just kind of going back and forth every once in a while. By the afternoon hours, maybe if you're lucky enough, you'll get an isolated raindrop or two. I'm not really foreseeing any real accumulative rain in our forecast, so if anything, it's definitely going to be slightly on the drier side for us. We actually clear out those skies by Saturday morning, but well before sunrise. That's where the brunt of the system moves in. We got a lot of yellows and oranges on our radar. That's where the widespread rain will return. Some gusty winds possible along the coast. Mountain snow returns. That's where that snow elevation level falls back to about 4,000 feet. So keep that in mind. Saturday morning, at least, a very wet day for us. We slowly dry things out, though, by the afternoon and evening hours, still holding on to maybe just a splash and dash heavier shower or two. That is a possibility. Just kind of reading through some of your guys' Facebook comments here. I know Justin says he wants snow. I know, I wish I could say that we would be getting snow. If you're heading up in elevation, that's going to be the best spot to see the snowflakes falling. And, I think we might actually even be able to see some of that snow falling on Christmas Day. But as far as the rain goes, because it is the Pacific Northwest, when we talk about Christmas, at the start of Hanukkah, we like to think of things being green and rainy. That's what we'll see, at least from now all the way through Sunday evening. Expecting about a half inch of rain possible, maybe even an inch and a quarter possible for some of our coastal communities. So the wet weather definitely taking hold of the Pacific Northwest. And really now through Sunday night, some of our weather models kind of disagreeing in the form of the GFS, which is the global forecasting model, kind of indicating maybe closer to that half-inch mark, maybe 6/10 of an inch. And then the ECMWF, or the European model just for short, is being a little bit more aggressive, at least for the Portland-Vancouver area, of closer to about 1 inch and 3/10. So let's maybe meet in the middle and maybe say 3/4 of an inch is going to be closer to our rainfall amount, at least by the end of Sunday. But tonight, here in the city, we start to dry things out. We put those temperatures back in towards the upper 40s. It will be drying out, but the cloud coverage remains with winds out of the east-southeast at about 5 to 10. Here you go, our Advent forecast calendar. Hard to believe we're already going to be in the 20th day of the month. Tomorrow, also the final day, the last day of the autumn season. Come the 21st, that's when winter starts. I know, it's hard to believe that we haven't even touched winter just yet. But the good news is, come the 21st, we'll start to expand those days, get those sunrises a little bit earlier in the day, those sunsets just a little bit later. We'll be tacking on just a couple of extra seconds until we get into January, February. Then we'll start tacking on minutes to that. And I think that will be a welcome sight for many of us. But tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies remain. Maybe a light drizzle to start off the day. Drier by the afternoon as the cloud coverage remains. And temperatures, though, still comfortable in towards the mid-50s. So here's what's on tap for the coastline. Expecting those highs to be in the upper 50s, low 60s. My suggestion is to head to the coast to enjoy some of those mild temperatures, but it will be wet at times. Better chance to see the wet weather out that direction as opposed to the I-5 corridor. Now, as for the I-5 corridor, that's where we get back up into the low to mid-50s. Again, a light morning drizzle possible, slightly drier in the afternoon. Maybe if you're lucky enough, you'll pick up on a single raindrop or two. And then out towards the east, maybe a lingering shower, a possibility as that front kind of just clips much of the Pacific Northwest, seeing those temperatures back into the 40s and 50s. So not talking about snowfall out that direction either, but government camp mid-40s. So if you are planning on maybe skiing tomorrow, you just keep in mind maybe some slushier conditions. It's not going to be that nice, light, fluffy snowfall that we've become so accustomed to, especially over the past several days, just because it has been so warm, I should say. So our 7-day forecast really kind of spells it out quite nicely for us. Friday, expecting to see, again, just a light drizzle for the start of the day. First day of winter, that's Saturday. Highs cooling off into the 50s. That's because we have that more powerful cold front starting to swing its way back into our area. And then we actually kind of dry things out a little bit by Monday. Still seeing those highs in the mid-50s. Christmas Eve, a few scattered showers possible. So again, no white Christmas for us, unfortunately, expecting to just see the rainfall. The first day of Hanukkah, or first night, I should say, and Christmas Day coinciding on December 25th this year. Temperatures right around 50 degrees, expecting to see the wet weather close in on much of the Pacific Northwest. Again, that snow elevation level, I'm thinking right around 4,000 feet or so. It's still several days out, subject to change, but I really think it's going to be lying right around that area. And then even into Thursday, the wet weather does continue. Now, some of our long-range models kind of hinting and indicating that we could potentially get a little bit colder by the time we dive our way into the month of January. Yeah, still far out for us, but nonetheless, still a very real potential. And again, if you're just now joining us on any of our live streaming platforms on this KOIN NOW Christmas Day here in the Portland, Vancouver area, I'm calling for 50 degrees, rainy conditions, but it's going to hold off until about the afternoon time frame for Christmas Day itself. So that's something to look forward to, I guess. I don't know. I kind of like a dreary, gray, wet day for Christmas as opposed to the sunshine, especially when we are talking about Christmas here in the Pacific Northwest. It just really kind of makes it feel more like home. Thanks for joining us for this KOIN NOW special edition, kind of breaking down our Christmas weather outlook. I'm going to leave you with this beautiful live look out over downtown Portland as our holiday lights shine brightly. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be able to catch you on the 10 on the CW starting at 10 and on KOIN 6 News starting at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.